Surprise, surprise, surprise. At age 51, we got the ultimate surprise.
And I was 35 at the time. We found out that,
We were expecting.
yeah, so obviously a huge shock for us. It was an exciting time. I mean, obviously we were older. Our older kids were 28 and 19, so there is a 19-year age difference between my youngest and the next one up.
The
So
old yeah, the older ones are twins.
yeah, yeah. So it was a big change for us. But I will say, I mean,
We were excited.
we were excited and
Kind
ended
of
up,
flabbergasted, right?
yeah, flabbergasted. I mean,
Like, what?
what do we do now?
We knew how that happened.
Well, yeah.
See, so that wasn't a question.
Right, but just a surprise. It was a ended up being a great surprise. But obviously, at our age and with our other kids grown, we had to make we had to do some adjusting, right?
These are some of the changes that people with large age gap marriages, if this happens, if you become expecting, then there's going to be changes.
Sure, sure.
Right. So you need to embrace them.
You have to embrace them and you have to accept them and just keep on moving on. One of the biggest things we did, because obviously after he was a newborn, and then we had to start looking
Hey,
at.
I know what. Let's tell them exactly what we was doing when we found out
All right.
what our life was like.
What? Okay. Yeah.
Now this was my life. I was working a full-time job for the government, not too taxing. I was running a karate school, and then her and I was putting a plant nursery on our property, a project that we had been working on for a couple of years, right?
And I was working full time also.
Yes, she was working full-time also. And then change.
Big change. So
Not to keep you suspended or waste a lot of time on this, but this is some of the changes that we made. I switched jobs that would give me more benefits, more time off, so I could count my time, all my overtime that I worked, and holiday time. I could comp that, and I didn't have to work in the summer.
right, because our biggest goal was not to use a babysitter. So he changed jobs, was able to get quite a bit of vacation time or time off, and then I actually ended up going part time for probably 2 years, right? And I was able to cut a day out.
Hey. That's our neighbor hollering at her dog.
Yeah, if you hear that screaming behind us, our neighbor has a new puppy, and she's a loud woman,
Yeah.
nice woman, but she's a little. Oh, so if you hear screaming, that's her screaming at her
Yeah.
dog, not her kids, her dog. But anyway, so I was able to go part time, so I was able to take a day off through the week, and then they actually let me work home for a day out of the week. So between the two of us, we were able to limit the babysitting to a minimum. And when we did use a babysitter, it was my mom. She stepped in and was glad to help with the babysitting. So it all worked out.
Yeah, and then after thinking about it for a while, this was a year or so later, we decided to sell the karate school. But when we sold it to one of the students, and he agreed to let us use the downtime that he was using, the dead time is what I call it, where we could actually teach younger kids, really young kids. We could teach them martial arts, but the classes was only like a half an hour long, 2 days a week.
Right.
It was just something actually to take our son to and get
Right.
him involved with other kids.
Right. That was before we built the school in the backyard. So that was the one big change. The next big change was the plant nursery. That is a lot of work. I mean, when we were not working our full-time jobs before he was born, we were always out there working on, I mean, we had different varieties of plants and shrubs, so we were always watering, and the nursery was a walk-on nursery, to where everybody that came and purchased was able to walk onto our property and see the actual plants in the ground in gardens that we were selling.
Yeah.
So we were always working on the gardens, watering, repotting. One thing, it was a
Time consuming,
very, very time consuming.
labor intensive, and what brought this to a close was one day I was out there repotting stuff, working like a Turk, and I got to thinking, she's in here taking care of him, and I'm thinking her mind is not in this. My mind was not in it. And
Right.
I'm thinking, what am I doing here? And so I think, well, sometimes this, sometimes you have certain dreams and you have to be open to change. So I thought, what's best for us?
Right.
So I put down my stuff. I come in the house and I said, we might want to rethink this. I mean, we have this set up, and it was a beautiful place. Honestly, it was, and we was only like 2 months from opening. I said, so here's what I think we'll do, if you're in agreement, right?
Right. I was
We
definitely.
will advertise this nursery. We'll open it. We'll have a plant sale for 2 weekends, and we did that. And I'm telling you, people come. They come from all over. They was taking all kinds of plants out of here. We was making money hand over fist. And after 2 weekends, I told her, I said, well, this gave me a sense of success. We know that it would have worked if we'd have followed through. But there was no way that I was going to ignore this kid and get off working in a nursery like that. It just wasn't worth it to me.
Right. And we had, I mean, he is our biggest blessing, that we've ever had. I mean,
Did we show a picture of him?
not yet. I've got it
Here he
here.
is. Here he is, right
If
here.
I'm in the frame here. There you go. That's him.
Oh, that's him. And that's him and Mom.
My special boy.
Yeah.
So, anyways, we had a ball. We just had a ball. So, a lot of different things when you raise kids from a younger parent to an older parent. I was 35, he was 51. So, obviously, we had a lot more patience. We were more focused on raising our kids because we weren't young, new parents. We had already been down that road before. So, we knew what we wanted with him. And what we wanted for him, and we just had a ball. I mean, you talk about getting to be a kid again. I mean, we spent so much time playing. We would take him down to Florida on vacation. We're big Daytona Beach fans, and we would take him down there. When he was probably 2 was the first time we took him, and run. That kid would run, and I have pictures of Rob running and chasing him, and we loved it. We weren't gonna hinder him. We were running with him. We were going.
Actually, some of the remarks that you get when you're, especially like I'm the older person. Like, if I took him out and we was shopping for something, a lot of the people say, "Oh, honey, have you got your grandpa out here with you?" I was never bothered by that. I would just say, "No, it's Dad,"
Right.
and they would go like, "Whoa, how'd that happen?"
Right.
Well, I could tell you how it happened, but I'm good.
Right.
See?
Right.
I used to tell people like this. Well, one thing is once you start having kids, just keep having them.
Right.
You might find out that you like it.
Right. And we did, and we've always been around kids because of the karate school. But we just had a ball. We had a good time. I mean, getting to be a kid again. So as he got older, we actually when he was getting towards school age, we put the house up for sale at one time because we didn't want him in
yeah.
the school district that we were in. That fell through due to the realtor. So we just decided, forget it. We'll stay here because we loved our house, still do, and we put him in private school.
Whoa. I
Mistake.
don't know if I do that again.
Mistake. Great Christian education, but as far as the rest of it, I'd have to think twice about that.
No, we're not fans.
Yeah.
Not fans, right?
But things changed with us as he went into school. I mean, he was very, very involved in sports. So here we are, in our 40s and 50s, and even when he was in high school, sitting at sports games, in the freezing cold and the blazing hot, and loved every minute of it. I mean, we had a ball. Just
The guys have to get used to the grandfather thing because that's going to come out. It come out all the time. But I looked at it like this. I carried it as a badge of honor. I might be getting along in age when he was born. I don't care. Like right now at 74, if someone had a child that was in a bad place and said, "Would you raise this kid?" I would say, "Yeah, I will." And I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll give you the best I got to give.
right,
And then
which is all you can do.
that's all you can do.
That's all anybody can do at any age. At any age that you're having kids.
But such a blessing that kid is. We was so much more patient. and we learned to have, learned to embrace having a child around again. It was like a rejuvenation for us, like a rejuvenation to your spirit, right?
And I don't think it ever hindered him either. I mean, him having older parents, because I know a lot of you will think, oh God, he had a dad and a mom that were older than everybody else's dad and mom. And I don't think he ever let that bother him. I mean, he has a couple of nieces and nephews that he grew up with that are actually older, a year or two older than him. So it's an odd situation, but he never let it bother him. I mean, Rob has been his biggest supporter and his biggest coach, and I know that he loves that. I mean, it means the world to him. And our older kids love it. I mean, had a ball with him. I mean, there's many pictures and times that they were out there on our basketball court playing with him, pushing him around on his toys. I mean, everybody just accepted it and rolled with it, and a huge blessing to everybody.
Yeah, he's 23 years old now, college graduate. He's doing good, and good for him. Good person to be around.
Right. So what do you guys think about that?
Yeah,
So,
what do you think about that?
would you have a kid at those ages?
On purpose.
On purpose? We
Well,
would do,
yeah,
accident.
well.
We would do it again in a minute. We'll do it
Yeah.
again in a minute. But
We just didn't know we was doing it then.
right. So
Surprise, surprise,
right.
surprise.
So what's your guys' thoughts? What do you think about it? What's the pros and cons? I mean, we have no cons. We didn't have any cons at all. So you can tell us
No.
your cons, but we might not agree with you. But love to see your comments. So I hope that you guys like this video, and I hope you become one of our subscribers. See you next time.